Hi, it's Psychic Cynthia here again, and I'm letting you know that today on Tuesday, that would be November 4th, I believe, 2025, Mercury has just entered its pre-retrograde storm, and I think it's around 5 degrees Sagittarius, but just listen, know that it's just entered its storm. It's not retrograde yet. That's happening on Sunday, so we have a few days yet. But between the pre-retrograde storm we're now in and the retrograde, which will run a few weeks, and I'll do more writings and videos about that later. And then you're going to have a post-retrograde storm too. So basically you can think of most of the rest of this year is going to be a time now for tying up loose ends, completing projects that have already been started prior to today, prior to the pre-retrograde storm. That is November 4th, 2025, which just happens to be the day before the full moon. I mean, the full moon is actually just a little bit more than 12 hours away when I'm filming this video. So there's a lot happening all at once here. But if you're not familiar with Mercury retrograde or the storm, just know that this is a time now to, rather than starting new projects or trying to take on, a lot of new responsibilities, you want to continue to move forward with what you've already started. If you'd had ideas that you wanted to initiate, but you've already sort of begun on that, that's fine. You can keep trying, to move forward. Just know that there will be, most likely, there are usually increased delays and frustrations and miscommunications during Mercury retrograde, because really the cosmic intention of this time is for us to lay low, to do less, to replenish, to just take care of what needs to have closure, what needs to be wrapped up, what is yet undone that we have started. So if you follow that sort of line of thinking, you can work with the energies rather than working against them. Now, if you absolutely must, you feel you must, take on a big trip, it's also not a good time to take on a big trip, especially to somewhere brand new. But if you must do that, and I have done it before, or if you must take on a big project that you're just now starting, and I have tried that before too, so I have some experience with that. I don't recommend it, but I do know we can do it. Even that we can do intelligently. You just want to be prepared to be very flexible, very adaptable. You need to have a plan B, a plan C, maybe even a plan D. And who knows, maybe you won't need it. I hope you don't need it. But there's a lot of factors involved when you're trying to undertake a large journey or when you're trying to undertake a major project. So a lot can go wrong. And with the miscommunications being more common, and also information is usually missing, key critical information that you would need to make a major decision tends to be obscured during especially the retrograde proper. And that starts on Sunday and lasts a few weeks. And I think that'd be Sunday the 9th. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but today's Tuesday, so I can basically figure out that, that would be about the 9th of November. So yes, just be aware there's a lot you don't know right now. There's a lot I don't know, okay? And so that means to move with an increased sensitivity and patience and a gentleness, and not trying to push things forward. Proceed cautiously, with awareness, with vigilance even. And you've got to double check and triple check, and don't take things for granted, okay? If your flight tickets say a certain time, you better get there earlier, and don't cram your schedule, okay? That's just good advice in general, even if you're not traveling, okay? Don't cram your schedule, and have a backup plan, and be okay with things turning out differently than you had planned, because most likely at some point during this month they will. We can see a lot of unexpected surprises and twists and turns during Mercury retrograde and in its pre-retrograde storm as well. Some people see more twists and turns in the pre-storm than in the actual retrograde. It just depends. So we'll see. And it's not all bad. I mean, especially if you can hone in and concentrate on replenishing, relaxing. Even obviously, you're still going to have to keep working if you work or whatever. Everybody has their day-to-day routines, but maybe you back off a little. You don't take on a bunch of new stuff. I know that I'm going to have some family visiting and also be entertaining other families. So rather than trying to cram in my visiting family into the house while I'm getting the house cleaned up, I'll put them in a hotel. Okay? That's just an easy solution I can do. Yeah, it costs money, but it's worth it for my peace. What is your peace worth to you? Don't take on more stuff than you need to. Hello. Okay? That's it. That's a good message for Mercury retrograde. And this can be a very psychic time, and you can definitely tune in more spiritually. That's what it's meant for, if you'll let yourself do that. So yeah, those are some tips for you. And remember, Mercury is a trickster god, so he's got a good sense of humor. And if you can have a good sense of humor, then this time will be easier for you and more fun, at least less hellish. Okay. Alrighty, well, until next time, I'm wishing you many bright blessings and as much peace and productivity and joy as possible for you in Mercury retrograde. Bye.